Now turn forward from Isaiah to Lamentations. And that's the classic passage using this word. And you probably knew I would get there. Lamentations 3. Because this is the testimony of Jeremiah. His life was in shambles. All of his friends were dead. The smoke and stench of the destruction of everything around him that he ever held dear was all he could smell. He could just smell burning everything. Because he survived the destruction of Jerusalem. Nebuchadnezzar let him out of captivity and allowed Jeremiah to walk around the torn down walls and temple of Jerusalem and see all the bodies slumped over and all the smells of death. And he walked around and looked at that, and he wrote the poem, which is called the Lament of Jeremiah, or Lamentations, which is actually 5 chapters of poems. A poem in chapter 1, a poem in chapter 2, a poem in chapter 4, a poem in chapter 5. Chapter 3 is 3 poems. I told you earlier when we started this, it's almost like a pyramid. 1 and 5, 2 and 4 and 3 goes up with 3 poems, with the middle poem, chapter 3, verse 22 and 23, starts that pinnacle. And this is what he says there. And I'll back up to 21 and go right over the top and over the other side. You're the very top of this pyramid of this poem. This I recall to mind, therefore I have hope. Hupomeno. There is that enduring under the word we've been looking at from Jesus' sermon in Matthew 24. Therefore I have hope. 22. Through the Lord's mercies we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. We're not consumed by the fire of whatever we're going through. We don't get ruined by it. We get twisted and pulled and stretched to soar, to see the Lord more clearly through the fires and the afflictions than we ever could have without them. Verse 23, they are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Verse 24, now we're rounding the top there. We're going into the next poem. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait. There is that word. That's the hupomeno word. Jesus, as he read Lamentations 3, would have seen that Greek word, and he would have memorized it. Those who hupomeno for him, to the soul who seeks him. So Jesus, when he describes what one looks like that's genuinely saved, Matthew 24, verse 13, he says that when troubles come, they go to God and find their help. The evidence of salvation is not the absence of troubles. It's not the presence of great wealth and health and riches and prosperity, as is popular in our day. The evidence of salvation is that when everything falls apart around us, under that we seek and find what this is talking about. Hope, verse 21. Verse 22, we experience the Lord's mercies. We experience his compassion. Verse 23, there's a freshness. We know his faithfulness. Verse 24, we want and accept and welcome the Lord as our portion in life. We don't say, we wish we weren't in this and we want to get out of it. We want him, whatever he brings. And we hope in him, verse 25, because the Lord is good to those who endure, who hupomeno.